To be healthier, to be more fulfilled, you really have to be very, very intentional with taking care of yourself.
Mark, you've been doing like door to door for 23 years or so. Okay, so
20.
wow, door to door for an extremely long time, very multifaceted and multi talented. He's also a father of six. Talk to me about your family life and what you've got going on there.
Yeah, and I appreciate that question. I have lots and lots of conversations all the time about the definition of a poor man is someone with lots of money that doesn't have relationships. Like, and so we really do preach family first. Um, what's lots of money and purpose and passion without people to share it with? And so we're a mixed family. My wife and I are both divorced and remarried. She had two, I had three, and we had one together. And um, our family is one of the big reasons why we go hard every day, so that we can provide a safe place for them and see the world with them. And it's been cool, like to really just let them be them. Like, it's one of the things we've really tried to do is just allow our kids to not show up in a certain box and feel shame about who they are. And there's been lots of times where, hairstyles and things that they've done, and you're just like, what are you, woof, and just holding that space of letting them just trial and error it and figure it out. And it's been a hard but a cool process. And so yes, family it's on every one of my bios. Like, the rest of it just doesn't matter if you don't have good relationships with your wife and kids and your friends and your family. So very important to me for sure. And we pass it down to our we really try to pass it down to our employees and the people we work with, is putting them first.
Yeah. No, gosh, I respect that so much about you. I see you guys all the time traveling together as a family, and I just saw you guys did 75 hard together also. Tell me about that. That is tough.
Yeah, 75 hard was a cool experience. Like, I've been I consider myself a very disciplined person before 75 hard. 75 hard took it to a whole new level. And for me, it was just really like not chasing the accomplishment of it. Because I think in this space that's very common, like
Yeah.
next top rep prize or the next top office prize, which is great, man. Like, that's amazing. But I wasn't chasing after the achievement. I was chasing after the lifestyle. Like, I wanted to make sure that I got done with 75 hard and really just had created this new lifestyle from a health perspective, like my nutrition. So that was the most important thing for me, is like walking away with this new desire to be different and show up
Right.
different in that space. But yeah, it was cool. We had 20 something people do it with us, and it was cool to see. Dude, there are some savages in there. I was like really impressed, like single moms and dads with lots of kids and business owners. And it was awesome. It was really cool to see people dig deep. And there was even some people, which was most impressive to me, that would miss a day, start all over, and just keep going. So we had people in our group that finished 10, 14, 20 days later, which I thought was really, that was a cool example to me as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. How many times people are like, oh, that's all right. I'll just keep going. Just count
Yeah,
that day. It's whatever. But yeah, to start all the way back over and keep going, that's wow.
yeah,
That's
it was cool.
powerful. Well, really cool. Well, it was fun to watch you guys go through that. And how do you feel like your lifestyle's been since that?
Very similar. We just instead of being just full transparency, we had this certain diet. You have to pick a certain diet. Yeah, we pulled out sugars and energy drinks. And the new lifestyle is Monday through Friday. We are super super disciplined with what we consume with food and drink, and then on the weekends we get to enjoy a snack or a dessert or an energy drink here and there. So that's the new lifestyle. It's just
Love it.
really taking what we learned and applying it as much as possible.
Yeah, I love that. I want to talk a little bit about how that kind of bleeds over, from your work life to your family life. We talked about how you guys really take family first and your relationships first, but then you also kind of push that out company wide, just, trying to impress upon them to put their families first and whatnot. So, talk to me a little bit about how that can bleed from one thing, kind of like how you do one thing is how you do everything
Yeah.
mentality, and how does that apply to work and your home life?
It's a great question, Jess. That one of my favorite quotes is if it's not right on the inside, it can't be right on the outside, right? So one of the things that we harp on constantly is helping girls, boys, husbands, wives to just be better humans, to show up for themselves first. And there's so many ways to do that through your exercising and your diet and your cold plunges and your breath work and all the things. And so we really, really like try to create a culture of getting it right on the inside, like like take we morning routine, right? We call it power hour, and it's just the things that you're doing to put yourself in the best space to show up as a better business owner or a better mom or whatever it is. And so we've learned that like as people really show up for themselves and they have the capacity to show up for other people. And I think that it's very common for men and women to just put their heads down even when they don't have anything left in them and just power through it. One of the things that Holly and I have really worked on is a phrase that is just, "Hey babe, I don't have the capacity." Like if work was tough or the kids were tough and it's time to put cash to bed and one just has nothing left, we'll just name it like, "Hey babe, I don't have the capacity. Can you put cash to bed tonight?" And so that again attributes to listening to our bodies, listening to our minds, because if we'll take care of ourselves, then we can show up to the
Yeah.
rest of the world. And so it really starts with to be better husbands, to be better family men, to be better businessmen, to be healthier, to be more fulfilled. You really have to be very, very intentional with taking care of yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if it's how we grew up or what, but it was almost like that's a selfish thing, Like, no, we just got to go serve our families, take care of our husbands, also as wives and their kids. And, I work full time and I felt that pressure a lot. That's so powerful that you said that to me of like we just have to be able to like tag in, tag out, sort of, and just say, hey, like I'm at capacity. I can't do this right now. Like we got to have a code word of sorts.
Yeah,
But it's not a selfish thing to put ourselves first. And like you said, it's the whole saying of like you can't pour from an empty cup. When there's nothing left in the tank, what can we do for other people?
really can't give what you don't have. So if you build up what you have, then you can give more. And so that's the beauty of it. It comes full circle. So yes, when it's time to tap out, name it, tap out, and come back ready to rock and roll.
That's right. Yeah, and it's not a sign of weakness. I
No,
think that's something that we really need to wrap our brains around and feel inside is that, you're not less than or weak because you need to ask for help or express that your bandwidth is too full. You don't have the capacity.
I think that's a good, there will be a lot of men that watch this because there's a lot of men in this space. And, vulnerability is masculinity. And I remember thinking that it was noble and masculine to get home from a hard day's work and my wife's been with the kids all day and now it's my turn to relieve that stress, and it was just a crazy day and I just needed a few minutes. And the old Mark had this idea that it was noble to just put my head down and show up how I was. And that usually turned into resentment and turned into frustration. It turned into like giving 60% to my wife and my kids. And I remember learning that it's actually masculine to be able to say, "Hey, babe, I'm at capacity. Give me 15 minutes. I'm gonna go in the bedroom. I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna stare at the ceiling, and then I'll be back." And my wife has really appreciated the authenticity because again, as I come back, I show up in a completely different space.
Right. Right. Yeah, I've done that too, where it's like, I just need an adult timeout for a minute. Like, I'll tell my husband, like, I've got to go in the room for a minute. Like, I'm locking the door, like, no one's coming in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can do whatever I need to do to like bring myself back down so that I can show up as my best self for my husband and my kids, and that's what we've got to do. And I think that that translates in work as well. There's times in work when it's like, hey, I gotta get myself right before I actually front this. Don't go barging in when emotions are high, and take it down a second and then go back at it when we're ready to put on our best face.
That's so powerful, right? Like presence is the key. Like I think that it's very common for humans to move so quickly. We got to move quickly. Like I feel this emotion, I'm going to go in and I'm going to take care of it,
Yeah.
as opposed to deep breaths. The emotion, because when emotion is high, logic is low, and too often we're just trying to take care of it now, right? Where it's like, okay, if I just breathe into it, I find my center, I find my presence, then I can go speak with my heart instead of my head, which is just so much more powerful. And it's just human nature to just be got to do it now, as opposed to really just learning to slow it down so that
Right.
you can speak from here instead of here. So that's very powerful that you're able to do that.
Yeah, no, I love that for sure. Mark, you've dealt with a lot of tragedy in your life, especially recently with losing a son. And tell me about how it's been so powerful. Let me just tell you first off, for me to be able to watch how you've coped with that and shown up in the world and shown up to your kids still and everyone in Lehigh. And I went to school in Lehigh and still feel that Lehigh pride. But it's been extremely cool to watch you and how you show up and have created something from this tragedy. Talk to me about a little bit about the coping that you've had to do to continue throughout your days.
Yeah. Thanks for the love. First of all, Jess, I receive it and I appreciate it. Um, man, there's so much to unpack there. Like, so my son passed away in a drowning accident just a little over a year ago, and just give you a little context, like had lots of conversations with God before he passed away. We're like, hey man, like you're coming at me. I got the divorce and mixed families and sick kids and all these things. Like, um, just do me one favor. You can take one of everything, but just don't take away Beck. Beckham was my son's name, was really just like my centerpiece. And so when that happened, it was as you can imagine, it was devastating. And in that moment, you just have to decide whether it's going to cripple you or whether it's going to be one of those defining moments. And in those situations in the beginning, you just try to show up every minute. Like in this minute, I'm just going to show up the best way I can, and then it's 5 minutes, and then it's 15 minutes, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to put together a strong day today, and then it's okay, like I can make it through 2 days. And you really just try to show up the best way that you can. Um, but fast forward a year later, I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how much our lives have been blessed as we've really tried to find the purpose in the pain. And it's just been such an honor to live his legacy the best that we can. And I mean, I could talk about it all day, but just so many amazing tools that we were able to learn before he passed that have been instrumental in really navigating his passing. And I'm just grateful that God trusted me enough to be able to say, okay, this didn't happen for no in vain. It didn't happen for no reason. It happened for a very strong purpose, and it's been really special to be a part of really just living his legacy.
All right, gosh, Mark, you guys have done such an awesome job at that. And I've watched Momentous 13 come to life. And I know Brad, owner of Repcard, has sent his son Chad out to the event. And so tell me a little bit about that and what you're doing with Jens to live out his legacy.
Yeah, thanks for asking the question. So How it came about is there hasn't been a day that's gone by since he passed where I haven't really communicated with him. As a parent, when you lose someone that's so close to you, you will do anything to be able to still be able to connect with them, and that I've been very, very blessed to do that. And one of the things that he asked us to do is to start a program. It's called Momentous 13. Our next one is November 7th and 8th. It's usually about 50 kids that are boys and girls from the ages of 12 to 17. And we bring them in and we really just help them to understand what it is that they're dealing with. Like, help them to understand the anger and the anxiety and the depression and the fear and all the things that, like, when we first started this and kids would share with us in very vulnerable moments what they were saying to themselves, dude, you're just like bawling inside, like, I cannot believe that. And so we've just been on a mission to help kids really just understand their potential and why they're feeling these certain emotions, that they're not alone, where they stem from, how to release them, and how to integrate this new way of like showing up for themselves. Because that's the biggest thing. People just constantly feel like they're not enough, right?
Right.
And so really just helping teens who are so powerful, by the way, like really be able to show up for themselves first. And so that's what the program's all about, is just really helping teens like settle into their superpower.
Gosh, there's so much I can say about that, but first off, it's just a need. I've got kids your kids' age, and some that are just reaching those teenage years, and those years are just make or break. Like hindsight 2020, us looking back on our teenage years, it really is such a crucial time in life. And especially for them to start recognizing those emotions and why they're feeling them, and that it's okay to sit in them for a minute, but how to kind of cope and move forward or pass those emotions and deal with it the right way. It's just such a need. It's not something that we talk about enough, and I think we're getting there, like as a society and as parents, and kind of rewriting our own stories and what we kind of dealt with and our trauma as kids. Like I think we're rewriting that story a little bit, but it's difficult.
Yeah, and for all, well, very well said, by the way. And for all the parents out there, like, your kids really do want to share with you. And how does that come about? You create a safe place. And we've always had this mentality with our kids, like, hey, if you'll come, you're gonna make mistakes. That's fine. You're not perfect. When
Right.
you do, own them. Because if we hear it from someone else, then we're gonna have a problem. So if you make mistakes, come have that conversation with us, and really just giving them a safe place to say, hey, pops, I messed up, dude. Okay, who cares? Like, move forward, no shame, no guilt. Like, let's move on. And so, like, to all the parents, the kid, like, having had hundreds of kids come through the program, they really do want to share these things with their parents. They just want to feel safe to not get freaking crucified if they do. You know what I'm saying?
Gosh, no, totally. Yeah, we've had those conversations with our kids, and starting from, young ages, and talking about pornography or different things that you're going to see on the internet, and like, hey, it's going to happen. Like at some point these things are going to happen. You're going to face this trial. You're going to see these things, but just come to me. Let me be that safe space. And I think going back a little bit, you talked a lot about presence, and how you're so much more present now and focusing on in the present. Kids do want to share. And I think too often we're really focused on, they don't want to share with us. That's not the case. It's that we're just so busy going from one thing to the next, that if we really sit and create that time to listen, and listen with our eyes also, I think that we'll really start to really see our children and create that safe space that they can come to us.
I love that. Yep, I very well said.
Well, that's awesome, Mark. I also don't think that anything is coincidence. I don't really believe in coincidences. I think that things happen for a reason, and we're prepared for specific things in our life. And not that you can ever be prepared for losing a loved one, especially a child. I cannot even imagine. I've got 5 of my own. We've lost my father-in-law, and that was hard enough. They say the hardest person you can ever lose in your life is a child. And But I love that you mentioned that, you learned a lot of these coping mechanisms coming up to before Beckham had passed. And I want to talk a little bit about that because I know that you do speak with him every day, and that's something that I see on your social media, and being able to do breath work, and I know that's something that Holly, focuses on and actually facilitates. So talk to me about some of those coping mechanisms that helped prepare you to deal with that.
Yeah. About a year before Beck passed, um, I was introduced to breath work. It's actually by Jess Regan. Many that will watch this know Jess, and he invited me to a class. Went to this class. I breathed. I'm like, I will never miss this ever again. So that's been 2.5 years now, and there hasn't been a day that has gone by since that night that I have not done breath work. And what I learned is that we just carry so much. And so what breath work is designed to do is simply to release the emotions that don't serve us, fear, the anxieties, the frustrations, the angers, and replace them with what we really want, right? Clarity, light, love, connection, whatever. And so that's become a part of my daily routine. And I can honestly tell you that nothing outside of speaking to him that has helped me navigate his passing quite like breath work. It's been incredible. It's a part of, no matter where I'm at, it's a part of my routine. And you made a comment earlier, like when you're about to walk into a place when you're riled up and just kind of calming down. In the door-to-door space, it's intense. Like there's sometimes we'll be in meetings where like, gosh, that was intense. And I've learned even things like taking 2 minutes to breathe and techniques to prepare myself to walk into the next meeting without carrying what's coming from the last meeting, right? And those emotions. And so breath work has been incredible. Cold plunges have been incredible. Affirmations. I do a daily walk. I'm just going to tell you, if you can find a way to do a sunrise walk every day and just let your let your mind and heart and soul take you wherever it's supposed to take you. It is my favorite part of the day. It's incredible. I process things, I learn things, I release things. And so that's been really, really big for anybody that deals with grief. I'm very intentional with my grief. Um, for the first gosh, up until about 2 months ago, every day I would go in my closet for 10 minutes and let myself go to the depths of the depths of the depths, because you got to feel it to heal it. And so really, like, grief was, it was an honor for me. Like I really felt like it was an honor to take myself to those depths and release that, because if I didn't release it, it was going to show up in parts of my body and eventually be sicknesses or stress or whatever it is. And so intentionally releasing my grief has been massive. The community's been absolutely incredible. Like there's so many good humans in this world. It just blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. And so that has been a heart healer for sure. So yeah, lots of things that have just been contributed a lot to the growth during the tragedy, you know?
Yeah, for sure. No, so many different things, and all of those I think are excellent. Something that I really want to just shed light on is, once again, we've kind of already said this, but reiterating that that is masculine. Like masculinity, it's okay to feel things. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay. And even doing some of these coping mechanisms like affirmations, it may seem silly. It may seem, the girls are doing that, writing affirmations up on their mirror. It's not a women or a man thing to do affirmations or to do breath work. Like we all have to deal and heal and, feel our emotions. And so I just appreciate you showing that to the world, that like, you are an awesome guy and somebody to look up to, and showing the world that that is okay and you are masculinity.
Thanks, Jess. Masculinity has been a really enjoyable. Oftentimes men think that they're heading down the right path. I read a book that was a life changer for me, which is called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Mm,
And it was very, very like men think that they should head this way and that it's masculine and you should be heading this way because this is what's masculine. And the truth of the matter is, like, my relationship has gotten so much better when I chose to learn and follow what it really means to be masculine. And there's probably a lot of men out there that think they're headed in the right direction and they're just not. And just a little bit of course correction, it changes so much. As I've become more masculine, it's permission my wife to be more feminine.
yeah.
That has just let the cycle of our relationship just be just at a whole new level, you know?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that same thing. That's exactly how it is for myself. When I first got married, I'm kind of that like short, small but powerful on the inside, short and feisty a little bit, but I kind of come across as like maybe some pridefulness and it was like I had my guards up and I was powerful. I don't need help. I can do this on my own, like that type of mentality. And it actually was such a disservice to my family. And when I started to realize that, like, it's okay to feel my emotions, it's okay to cry. This is a part of my feminine. This is who I am. It's not a sign of weakness. It's just who I am, and showing them that is okay. It is totally transformed and also helped my relationship with my husband in the same exact light of just saying, hey, like, I'm not okay right now, or I'm really feeling this. It's not that, but I had this pridefulness of like that makes me weak. I can't open up. I can't share these feelings. So I kept it behind closed doors for so long. And what a disservice it was for my family.
Yeah, when you name your emotion, you give away its power, right? Like if you're feeling angry, how powerful is it to be able to recognize that and say, "Man, hey babe, I'm actually feeling anger right now." And what's been cool about our relationship is not taking that on. If my wife says, I'm feeling angry, old Mark would have been like, what are you angry for? How are we going to fix it? What are we going to do?
Yeah.
That's so common for men, right? It's like, how am I going to fix it? Instead of just being like holding a space for her to just be angry. And what that typically turns into is a 2-minute conversation where she can express why, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So it's just so powerful to be able to name your emotion. It just gives the power away, you know?
Gosh, no, yeah, you named it exactly. I love it. Mark, I appreciate you being so open about your journey and just sharing some of your story. I want to go back to Momentous 13 just a little bit and talk to me about, I know you've got another one coming up, and how often do these happen?
Yeah, so we do them in let's see here. I got to remember we do them in April and July and November of every year. April, July, November.
Okay, April, July, and November. So you've got one coming up this next month, which is really exciting. Are you guys already full in this one in November?
No, it's funny because about half of the people that sign up with like 3 days left. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
it's
That's like door to door. What do you mean? Like
it's
door
even
con, I'm like, is anyone coming? And then the last week, all the 3,000 tickets are purchased.
same thing. So no, there's room for more. We usually cap it at about 50, 55 people. I think right now we're probably at 35.
Okay.
And so there's still room for more. And we've just got to the point where it's like, hey, if whoever comes is supposed to be there, and that's great, however many that is.
100%. That's exactly the way that it should be. I've heard nothing but amazing things from it. I've been looking forward to my son turning 13 so he can come and participate and be a part of it.
I
Uh,
love it. Bring 'em.
Gosh. Well, Mark, any last words that you want to share with everyone on the call? Door-to-door experience, life experience, any takeaways that they can take with them?
Yeah, what comes to me is I learned this concept just a little bit ago, and I'd love to share it with you. I was just in Costa Rica. It's this self-development event, and one of the concepts that was taught to me was the up until now concept, and it's something that has really, really been so powerful for me. And it's sitting in these behavioral patterns or thought processes or things that we say to ourselves or things that we do, right? Like, I'm a people pleaser. Let's say that that's what someone decides they are. They're a people pleaser. So the up until now concept is Up until now, I used to be a people pleaser. And then the second part of that is, and now speaking my truths is a superpower. So you take your weakness and you say, up until now, I did this. And then you take the opposite of that, and your new affirmation is a superpower. Up until now, I didn't feel like I'm pretty. And now showing up in my beautiful self is my superpower. Up until now, I wasn't very motivated. And now being dialed into my purpose is my superpower. So it's really just having conscious awareness of the patterns, the thoughts, the things that we do that we want to do different, and changing that into now it's my superpower. That's been really, really powerful for me.
Gosh, yes, I love that so much. It's that recognizing, a weakness, but then not just recognizing and filling it with, affirmations, but actually replacing it with something so much better, more beautiful, more powerful. I love that so much. So, Mark, thank you for that takeaway. This has been a pleasure for me to just sit and talk with you and get to know you and all the wisdom that you gave everyone on this call. I love it so much. If anyone has a question at all, please throw it in the chat for Mark. Otherwise, we will definitely be putting this recording up on the training library and Repcard so you can rewatch this and share it with your teams. But Mark, I just want to say how much I appreciate you and just sharing all of your wisdom with us on this call and opening up and being vulnerable. We all learn from that, and we've learned from your journey, so I appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Yes, and Cole says, Stephen Pritchard here. Mark, I love you, and I'm sending you all my energy and love, man, which Stephen has a lot of energy, so he's
Oh,
sending
man.
you
Hi, Stevie.
a lot of energy. Okay, well, Mark, you have a great rest of your day and enjoy your Halloween week with your family.
Thanks, Jess. You too. Talk to you soon.
I sure appreciate you. Bye-bye.